Hey guys, how's it going? What we're gonna be talking about today is the top 10 list, alright? We're going down to a new guy, and this guy is both the most degenerative and funniest pickup artist in the community. He's bathed in the blood of the lamb. They call him White Jism. They call him Baby Jesus. They call him White Kanye. His name is J-Lax, or Jeffy as most of you guys know him. With that being said, let's get into the video.
In 2010, a group of deranged players decided to make their lives as ridiculous as possible. These men promptly secured a 1984 Econoline van from Craigslist and escaped to the San Francisco Underground. Today, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you can't talk to women, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the J-Team.
Alright, so because this is the video where we talk about the most ridiculous pickup artists in the world, I figured let's make it fucking a little ridiculous. Okay, so RST Jeffy is legit one of the craziest motherfuckers alive. Alright, this might be setting off this wrong message by eating a banana on camera, but fuck it. Alright, so before I take another bite of this stupid thing, Jeffy's set some of the biggest trends in the community to date. One of them being having a rape van. I think all my friends ended up buying vans immediately after he launched a video talking about his consensual rape van. When I was younger, Jeffy was the one thing that I used to watch that made me happy. Alright, so I would like be sitting down at home feeling really depressed and stuff, and I'd still be trying to figure out women, still be trying to figure out game. And I remember I'd watch his videos and his humor, how relaxed he was about life, how like even though he went through all of his bullshit, he was still happy. He ended up being happy in the end. Now, if you guys have never read his book, 9 Ball, he went through a lot of bullshit, alright? From getting stabbed with the samurai sword, from his dad getting arrested from the FBI, when he kidnapped his mom and her new lover, I guess. And as you can imagine, that was really fucking damaging. You know, he ended up fucking scarring himself, he ended up hurting himself. Like, I totally understand that kind of pain. And I remember I listened to him and I'd be like, man, he came out of what he went through, and like, you know, I'm going through my depression right now. If he can do that, I can do that. Now, to add this, I've run into Jeffy quite a few times because obviously I go out and game a lot. And I'd also go to a lot of free tours. San Francisco is right up the way from where I lived. I lived in Sacramento. So whenever nights would be really bad in Sacramento, all me and my friends would just travel over to San Francisco, start gaming. I remember one time we slept in a cave. The first time I ever talked to Jeffy was I went to one of his free tours, and me and my friends were all dressed like retardedly. Like we had giant sombreros, like we were all eating like nachos while we were in the audience and shit. We were just being fucking retarded. And I remember he called us out and he's like, you guys are fucking awesome. You guys are what pickup is made to be. Immediately afterwards, I took him to the side and I really wanted to ask him some questions because I've always wanted to be a pickup coach. Like it was something that was starting to kind of dawn to me that it was something that I could possibly do, that I could become a coach. And I pulled him off to the side. I'm like, hey man, look, I'm going through a lot of pain, I'm going through a lot of shit right now, but I want for everything in my life to be a pickup artist. I want to be a pickup coach. I want to teach guys how to be better with women. Like, how can I do this? And he gave me the whole, like, Tony Robbins rah-rah speech, you know, about, like, hustling and, you know, not letting things, you know, overcoming obstacles and shit. And to be honest, even though it was kind of a rah-rah speech, it was what it took for me to have permission to start chasing this myself. If he didn't say that immediately, like, if he was to, like, shoot me down right there, you wouldn't be seeing me on camera right now. If he was to tell me, if he was to be like even like fucking relaxed about it, or like fucking not even care about me as a person, like I wouldn't be standing here in front of the camera with this fucking Cookie Monster suit on right now. Later on, I did work with Jeffy, and not to the extent that I'd like. Honestly, he was only in town working with Immersion for like maybe like, you know, during the summit period. And so he showed us some infield footage of him and Evil Stifler, and I was like, man, that was fucking really good game. I was like, that was dope. Like, now, I'm gonna get into talking about Evil Stifler here in a bit. Evil Stifler is fucking insane. Alright, so there was some infield footage of him like fucking finger blasting a girl within like seconds of him talking to her, and I was like, whoa! I was like, dude, you can do that shit? If you think that you have to be rich to get girls, watch Jeffy. If you think you have to be tall to get girls, watch Jeffy. If you think you have to be jacked, good looking, no offense, Jeffy. I think you're beautiful. I'm gonna get off Jeffy's dick for a second, and I'm gonna show you guys some infield. Okay, so Jeffy doesn't have that much in the way of infield, like online. I've seen a lot from his hot seat, but he really keeps a lot of it to himself. So I'm just gonna go through the stuff that's online to show you guys what makes him really elite.
guy now, he's like hilarious. This guy is like a funny fellow with a weird headband. Tries to lock her in, you know, kind of take physical possession of her. But again, look how I just kind of stand here. I just keep fucking talking. I keep talking, and again, smile on my face, happy eyes, but very nonchalant. Now, you might ask yourself, what the hell are you saying? I'm just vibing, and we'll get into what that means, but
he takes the same ideas as Derek does. He believes that you either take it or leave it. He's a very polarizing character. You either love him or you hate him. And to be honest, that's not a bad way to be. Like, that's a great way to be. Me, I'm always trying to like fucking calibrate to the situation, trying to win every girl over. To be honest, like most of you guys who are gaming out and about, you guys should be taking on this kind of mindset. Because, I don't know, unless you're gonna be a hardcore gamer, like honestly, like that's how you should be gaming. Like, you know, take it or leave it. I am me. Like, if you don't like who I am, like, fuck it. When it comes down to a battle between you and a guy over a girl, it's the guy who reacts the least that wins. It's the guy who's the least needy towards the girl. So who's the most needy? He's putting his arms around her. Jeffy's back here just leaning back on his heels. Basically just having a friendly conversation with the girl. Obviously, Jeffy's gonna win.
just pump the emotional state, right? And how do I do that? I'll do a lot of situational stuff. I'll make observations about the environment. I'll make observations about her. I'll tell little stories if it's relevant to what's being said. And I free associate off what the girl gives me. So here, I notice she has braces on. And so I make some mention of the braces. I'm like, oh, I see you have braces. You know, I actually did used to have braces, but I never wore the retainer. You gotta understand, guys. The girls are not attracted to the content. They're attracted to the vibe you're giving them. So again, look, I'm not trying, I don't care, but I'm bringing something to the table. Oh, look at this. Here, now again, put his arm on me, you know, trying to kind of like dominate or whatever. I completely ignore this dude. So at this point, I'm gonna start layering it. I'm gonna start layering in some statements of intent. I tell her the braces make her attainable.
The braces make her attainable. So you took that from Julie and just flipped it around. Like, I actually used to do the exact same thing. Like, if a girl's like really hot, like, and she has something kind of like quirky about her, I'd be like, that makes you really attainable. It's a good line to use. Like, it's, you know, it lets the girl know that you're into her in a kind of like a funny way.
And again, look at this shit. I'm like a comfortable distance. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I believe that if I just stand here, she's eventually gonna come. She's like, yeah, come on, girl, come on, girl. She's like, whoa, dude.
Everybody around is reacting to him, and he's being the rock. He's being grounded in who he is. And he's also being authentic. Like, he's not trying. He doesn't give a fuck. And this girl's pretty hot. I never talked to women before, but I practiced with my sister before I came out. That's a good line. I like it. I dig it. That's a pretty good way to like kind of keep it like. So one of the big things about Jeffy is that he does kind of also a little bit of a Julian style game. Like, he wants things to be illiterate and stupid. Like, he's a degenerate and he knows it, so he plays up to it. He doesn't want, so a lot of you guys are all trying to be like the cool James Bond guy. We always bring this up in pickup and shit. Like, if you game a long time, you realize that that's really not the end all be all. Like, the more like seriously you take yourself, the more ego you have, the worse you do at this shit. Like, me dressing up in this Cookie Monster outfit. Like, if you take yourself seriously and you worry too much about your character, this character you're trying to put out to society, like, you're gonna stop yourself from being really relaxed and loose. Like, you have to be able to take yourself non-seriously. Like, it's... And if you don't take yourself seriously either, the girl's gonna assume that you don't take her seriously. So it's a lot easier to have sex with her. So you come across more like a player type instead of a provider type. Now, this is one of the big things I have an issue with, is because I am a really intelligent dude. So if it comes down to it where, like, I want to talk about some intelligent shit, I have to also be kind of balancing it out with player shit. Because if I'm not also playerish enough, like, then I'm kind of like, you know, then the girl's like, oh shit, he's a boyfriend material because he's super smart. Like, I should really tie him down. And that's not how I want it to be played. I want the girl to know that I don't judge her. And if I'm too smart, the girl's gonna assume maybe I'll judge her. So this is a really big thing to take away from Jeffy.
And again, she like walks up.
Now, do you see how the guy's leaning into him and he's not leaning back? Basically, this is a kind of game that I would be playing at the same time. Like, that's exactly how I would be playing it. Like, if you're a guy trying to take my girl, like, do you think I'm gonna be fucking whispering in your ears trying to be like, oh yeah, like, dude, fuck you, get the fuck away from me, man. Like, Like the guy's like, he's leaning into him trying to whisper in Jeffy's ear, trying to get in Jeffy's head. Like the guy already lost this battle way before this started. Like this guy lost the battle the second he cared too much about the girl.
I just fucking stand there. And the guy's like, you crazy man, or something like that. I'm like, I'll be normal. And you can see the frustration mounting. It's like, oh, motherfucker. Boom. So again, so now it's starting. Okay, it's starting.
Okay, so this is also something that I learned from him too. Like he's actually talking about it in the video, but I'm gonna tell you guys kind of the short version. Emotions are contagious. I've said this 100 times. Whatever you feel, somebody else feels. Whatever they feel, you feel. And if you want a girl to feel excited to talk to you, feel excited before you talk to her. Be really happy. Like me, I always try to put on like a happy, excited kind of like tone when I talk to somebody. My opener comes across very like happy and excited. And I tell a lot of my students, I'm like, hey guys, if you guys are gonna be approaching, what you wanna do is before you approach, put yourself in that state. Teach yourself how to control your emotions. So like, hey, how's it going? Dude, I think you're really cute and I wanna talk to you. What's your name? Like I'm trying to put off that like excited kind of feel. Like if you want somebody to feel horny, feel horny. If you want somebody to feel excited, feel excited. If you want somebody to kind of relax and chill, feel relaxed and chill. Like fuck it. Like feel what you want the other person to feel. Emotions are highly contagious. We're worse than virus. Like people are worse than viruses. Like we are like constantly like just bouncing off each other without even knowing it.
I look at her phone and on her like lock screen, she's got a picture of some child.
Now, see that right there? Like he's already kind of like, he's put off the vibe early on that I am this guy, I say what I want, and I'm just kind of crazy and kooky. Now because he's already in that frame, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. And they keep kind of playing on this. And the fact that he keeps playing on this, it makes the interaction non-serious. Like a lot of you guys, like if you guys like start the interaction with like a very, well, how's it going today? You know, I like the way you did your hair. What do you do for a living? Oh my god, that's so interesting. Like it's just like you can't get away with shit when you start off like that because you're setting the vibe that it's just not that kind of conversation. You're not that person that can say whatever the fuck he wants.
So now it's time for a reel.
Be gone!
And just like, look how calm too. Again, remember, number one rule of pickup, well, there's lots of number one rules, but one of them is like always be cooler than the girl. And what does cooler mean? It just means you're making me feel weird in the dick. Very chill about it. It's not like a big deal. Like, oh my god, the kiss! I got the fucking kiss! Yeah! It's like yeah, cool. Anyway, man, yeah, dude, yeah. I think, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 minutes elapsed, and now the crowd's kind of starting to peter out, and I'm like, okay, I think it's time. So you need to very clearly and decisive.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into the second one.
That's my roommate.
Hi, how are you? And again, listen to my tonality there. It's not like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's like, oh, hey, how are you? It's like this very relaxed, almost studied indifference, studied nonchalant, but then bam, and I go and I push right into the pinky swear, right? So an immediate hit of like physicality right off the bat. That's kind of playful and fun.
I'm good. What's your name?
Good. My name's Jeffrey Allen. Are you? You're just good. You're not phenomenal, not spectacular, or not.
I'm her roommate.
I'm her roommate now. You're evicted.
I'm gonna bitch.
See, that's a really good way to get it playful. Now, a lot of times you have to get things a little more playful in game. Like you can't be just like, you know, like that's another thing. Like being goofy and being playful, like it's so much easier to get a girl into when you're like, instead of just being like so logical. Like a lot of you guys really need to learn kind of take yourselves less seriously and have a fun conversation. You know, and if it comes down to canned lines, I promise you, Jeffy's using canned lines right here. you don't feel ashamed for using canned lines. If you guys are out of it or whatever, use canned lines. Like, it helps. Like, I mean, obviously method act it, like actually get into it. If it's a canned line that you're using, make sure it's something that you actually find funny to say. Like, don't say shit like because you think it'll get a certain reaction. Say it because it'll make you laugh. Not to mention that an interaction has a kind of momentum to it. If you started off really like very like flat and you don't like get it like that kind of vibe going early, like you both will start following an ego of it being like just like a logical conversation. Like early on, it helps to kind of make it a little bit goofy. Like if you can make the interaction goofy early on, it will help you out so much further down the line. It'll kind of just snowball on itself.
You're a pretty good Eskimo kisser.
That's not the first time I've been told that.
Are you an Inuit? Are you a native?
I'm from Canada. What do you do?
I'm from Alaska originally, so similar.
How is Alaska not from Canada? That's my
I know, right?
Canadians should have fought harder for that.
Yeah, they should have. Look at this girl's bug.
How old are you?
40.
And now see, that was it. Whenever you guys get a shit test, so that was a minor shit test. To be honest, most shit tests are not on purpose. Like, she was actually seriously curious about how old he was. And the fact that he didn't care about it actually kind of, like on a sub-communication level, spoke to her that said it's not a big deal. So then she kind of took the frame up. As I've always said with the shit test, there's 3 ways to pass a shit test. You either agree, you exaggerate, or you ignore. So with that one, he agreed, and he just acted like it's not a big deal. He said it with his tone. He's like 40. So he's just saying it, like, not a big deal, I'm 40. Like, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, I'm 40. And you're gonna show it with your tone that you care. Or you're gonna like, be like, I'm 40. And you're gonna be like, please love me still. Like, which would be a total huge ass turn off for a girl.
Know my body.
Too many shenanigans.
So one time, I just turned 19. It was your birthday. And I was like, guys, I know my body.
So like last week. Like.
So no, like 3 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
And I was like, I know my body. And then I puked everywhere. But they were all like, drink more water. I was like, guys, I know my body.
I haven't-
And then I went outside and just
I haven't puked in like several weeks. Like,
Woo!
no.
Adulthood looks good
Yeah,
on
no. You're the best Eskimo kisser I've seen yet.
Thank you.
Well, one of the best. Her Eskimo kisses are fucking on point.
Oh, mine or hers?
All right, so that's the end of that one. Let's move on to the next one.
Go steal me, bro. Don't you love being don't you love fucking hamburgers?
I don't know.
Don't you love motherfucking hamburgers, girl?
I guess we owe our whole relationship to hamburgers. Because if you didn't say that, I never would have said hello.
I know, I was like...
And someday we can tell our grandchildren that. What do you do?
All right, so that's one of my like funny pushes. So something that makes me laugh a lot is hyper narcissism. So when somebody's like, whenever anybody gives me any shit test, usually my favorite way to handle it is just with hyper narcissism. So like, you know, I don't know, your beard looks like fucking V from Vendetta. Makes me more attainable. Something like that. Or like, yeah, you know, I figured that I kind of like downplay myself as somebody like, you know, pretty great, but you know, not as great as I am. I thought it kind of humbled me a little bit. You know, there's 100 different directions that go with it around like fucking narcissism. I like it. For me, it pushes my buttons, gets me in a really fucking happy mood. Like, not to mention too, when you're really deep in the zone, like you become hyper narcissistic. Like if I'm going out, I'm romping for like a month, 2 months straight every day. Like I get very fucking narcissistic. Like you try to talk to me, I'm a fucking moron. Like I'm just a fucking like ego-ridden like fucking moron. Like it's the worst, but it's really fucking attractive to girls for whatever fucking reason.
How often do you guys play with?
I have a lot to confess.
I became a confession and chill.
Not very often.
Really? Do they even have to play with that? You know, I heard that's actually the Phoenix thing.
Why is that? Yeah.
So then why did you keep talking to me?
Because you're funny.
You could say that again. Yes, you... We have to go now. They're taking us to the mall. We're going to the mall. Jump into it. You gotta jump into it.
My shoes are so good.
Okay, we're gonna get the shoes. Okay, we're going to the
See, that's the only thing I don't agree with. Fuck, I've heard so many bad stories out here in Vegas of like, all right, so Jeffy's a cool guy. So Jeffy can do these kind of pulls. All right, so is Julian, so is Todd. Like, these guys are really just naturally cool ass motherfuckers. So when they're like, hey, we're going to an after party, and they're the only person at the after party, the girl's like, okay, cool, well, I like him. A lot of you guys are like, don't even have the girl attracted to you yet. You guys are just trying to coerce her, like, hey, party, party, party. Hey, I got a party. Want to come to our party? She's not even into you yet, and you fucking drag her to your place, and she fucking gets super creeped out because you're fucking like trying to trick her into having sex with you. As opposed to like these guys where they're trying to take the pressure off the girl. Like, a lot of you guys aren't there yet to where you're like fucking confident enough to actually like, I don't know, get like a girl like this into you necessarily. And then you guys, before you guys even have the girls like super into you, guys try to pull something like this. Like me, girls are like my friend and like my fucking lover. Like, if I'm talking to a girl like this, she's not just like an object to me, she's like a friend. She's like a sexual friend. If I were to do something like this, and I would be like, yeah, let's go to my place really fast, grab a quick drink, we'll bounce real quick, and then I can like, once I get her there, I can act like it's an accident when we have sex. Like, you guys are just not, you guys haven't hit the sexual hook point yet to pull something like this off. Honestly, for a lot of you guys should need to hit like high intermediate before you guys can pull this kind of a pull without it being creepy or like, you know, possibly getting a rape charge. Now, back to Evil Stifler. I always get asked this, is Evil Stifler as good as everybody says? Yes. Yes, he is. I remember like when Jeffy came out to Immersion and he started showing infields and shit of Jeffy and Evil Stifler working together, I was like, oh, fuck, man, that's, wow. Like, I'm a picky pickup artist, okay? Like, I had a hard time choosing 10 pickup artists that I was really into. I looked at his game, I was like, fuck. Like, I'm like, why are you guys filming him more? Like, what the fuck? Like, he's really fucking good. Yeah, and if you guys want to check out Evil Stifler, more of him, he actually does have a YouTube channel, which originally did have, like, videos with him talking to girls and shit. I just checked it out recently. He took down all the videos and whatnot. He does have some videos up still that are on other YouTube channels. They're not about pickup. They're actually him singing and whatnot. I'm not gonna expose him because I don't know if he wants the attention or not. So I'm not gonna be the douchebag to like be like, hey, everybody over here, you know. So I'm gonna leave it alone for right now. Okay, now that I got Evil Stifler out of the way, last things about Jeffy. Jeffy is a very fucking like, man, he had such a fucking terrible upbringing, and to become what he is now is fucking incredible. Like, the guy is fucking inspirational, honestly. Like, you think you've had it pretty bad? Like, look at Jeffy's past. If you guys haven't read his book yet, read 9ball. Really fucking dope-ass book. Alright guys, this is all I had to say for this video. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. And with that being said,
I hope you die in your sleep.
Peace out.
I hope you choke on that breath when you said that I wasn't the hottest MC. Pussy, you not in my league. Pussy, you not in my league. Some niggas scared of the work. Rather go loud with a treesh. 10,000 that wasn't me. Switch every time I release. Y'all wasn't there when I starved. Niggas ain't down with me. Niggas ain't flying with me. If they ain't dying for me.